Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2023 and another episode at the start of our second season with Newcastle. Last season was a bit of a mixed bag. We didn't really have any runs in the cup competitions, but we did have a very good Premier League season. It was disappointing we weren't able to sustain our challenge until the end of the season, but I think generally for a first season it went pretty well. Just having a look here at last season, and you can see 3 points off Liverpool, but very, very good points total in general, 90 points there. And with a lot of transfers and a bit of activity strengthening the club, we can be in a pretty good shape for another tilt at the title this season. So if we go to the transfers screen, you'll see that this season, we'll just double check in case any fell into the end of last season, but you can see we have signed a few players since the end of last season. So these are the ones we brought in last season, and since the end of last season we've also signed Moussa Niakate for nearly £30 million. He is a bit of a gamble at that price, but I think he's a decent player coming in. He nearly averaged 7 for a Nottingham Forest team that were relegated. That's how good a player he is. And he'll fit really well in that central defence position, which is where I really wanted to strengthen. And then we also brought in Mateus Cunha. He was only £20 million from Atletico Madrid, so another absolute steal. Can play in that left wing inside forward position. We've got him pretty cheap because he wasn't really playing last season, but he's been a very good player for a while. Not a superstar, but a good rotation that can play in a few different positions. So very happy with that. We also managed to make our marquee signing of the season, and that is Camavinga coming in from Real Madrid. I don't know why he was available so cheap. I think it's because he didn't really play last season. But 65 million for one of the best young players in the game. He's only 20 years old. He's going to develop into an absolute world superstar. And he fits so well in two different positions that we play in our team. So he is a marquee signing that will be in the club for some time. And there's no buyout clause or anything for him, so he will be around for a while unless I choose to sell him. And then just to use up the last bit of the transfer budget, I added a bit of depth to the left back position, also to that left wing position by bringing in Ryan Sessegnon. He wasn't playing really that much at Spurs. I think a lot of these, I suppose he was playing 24 games, isn't too bad, but he still averaged nearly 7. And I think when you put those players in your team with your tactic, those easily go up by about half a point. So he should be averaging about 7.4 if we get him in the team regularly. So I'm pretty happy with the transfers in. There's not really any more business that I actually want to make. So it's then just about reshaping the club. You can see we've had a few players leave. Ryan Fraser went to Brentford for an absolutely enormous, nearly £15 million. I don't know how we got away with that. He did play a little bit last season. He had a good performance in a couple of games, but 15 million was an absolute steal. Isaac Hayden, who wasn't in the club at all last season, has gone for £5 million after his loan spell at Norwich, where he didn't even play that well in the Championship, but Watford have made the move. Carl Darlow for 3.2 to Bournemouth, and Fabian Schär. I was a little bit sad to let him go because he has been a good player for us last season, but he wasn't playing very often. He asked to leave the club, so he's gone for 3.2 million. Already doing a really good job of Rennes, getting over a 7 average. And then a few other players leaving on free and on loan. I'll just check if anybody else left at the end of last season. You can see Kraft went for 9 million. Lascelles went for 3.1. Jacob Murphy might make the move permanently as well. Is he gone now? I think no, he's still in the under-21s actually. But I am trying to shift him out of the club, which is why I thought he was gone. So that is the overall transfer activity. And if you look at the squad, it's really, really well balanced now. We've got a good mix of English players in there as well for the requirements for the European football. Pope and Dubravka as the two goalkeepers. Nick Pope will be the starter. Eventually, I probably will bring in another goalkeeper if one becomes available. The right back position owned by Kieran Trippier. Good central defenders now across the board. Garcia, Botman, Niakate and Gabbia, all very good. And then Dan Burn reliable as ever can play at left back. Matt Targett supported by Ryan Sessegnon. So we've got that real depth in defence, which was a little bit of a frailty for us last season. And then we've also brought in Camavinga to add some depth to this midfield, which I think was necessary because Bruno and Joe Linton did a lot of the heavy lifting. Sumare was very good signing last season, but Camavinga in there as well is just a game changer. And then on the right flank, Almiron will continue to be the star player out there, but now we have Cunha to come in on the left to support Saint-Maximin, and then the strikers I was happy with last season. Isaac up top, Callum Wilson's withdrawn his transfer request from last season, which was very nice, and then Muakoko is getting better and better. So he is the long-term replacement for Alexander Isaac, who was just utterly sensational last season, now worth 100 million. 38 league goals in 35 games. So I'm pretty happy with that. In terms of the rest of the season, we've got a pretty good start. Middlesbrough, then Villa. Arsenal ahead. We've got Carabao Cup to come and still the Champions League draw to be made. So today we'll probably just do the game against Middlesbrough, then have a look forward at where we're going to go from there. The transfer window isn't far from closing. I don't expect much more activity. We do have a bit of wiggle room, probably a goalkeeper or a right winger is what I'm looking at. And then Champions League draw, and the first Champions League game will probably be the next episode. So let's get into this Middlesbrough game, an actual rivalry game in the Premier League for the first time in a while for us, and let's see if we can get the win. So you can see the team today down at the bottom. We've got Isaac, Cunha and Saint-Maximin as the front three. Camavinga makes his debut as Trippier takes a corner, and it's off the woodwork and away. Trippier with it again. Pulls it back to Niakate. Camavinga to Garcia, but he's just put that over the top. I'm just going to slow that down a tiny little bit. But Camavinga, Willock and Sumare in the centre. Sessegnon makes a start at left back. Niakate makes his debut in the centre. And here's Trippier with another free kick. Oh, and it's in! Eric Garcia scores his and our first goal of the season here in the Tyne Tees derby. We are 1-0 up after 50 minutes. Trippier, even though he's maybe not as great a right back as he was, that dead ball threat that he presents, getting a first assist of the season for him, and it is now 1-0 away from home as well. That's exactly the start we needed to settle the nerves. Already got 3 yellow cards, which is a little bit of a worry, but in a game like this, I think it's probably odds on for a red card at some point, as Joe Willock plays it into Saint-Maximin, a bit more central. He's flicked it over, and Cunha there had a very good chance to get a goal, but he just hooked that shot wide of the post. So 1-0 at the moment. Middlesbrough with a 0.01 expected goal from the game. Not posing too much of a threat, but they do have possession here as Clark plays it back to the last man, Fry. Now Mangala gets it through to Dennis, and he's in on goal as well, but that is a very tame shot at Pope. So Middlesbrough not really getting much of an opportunity here. Me with the throw in, though. They are seeming to get a stranglehold on the game now. Scott running across. He's going to have a shot here, and it's easy for Nick Pope to make that save. All the pressure down our end now as we clear that ball away. Can we counter? It's Camavinga launches it forward to Isaac, cuts inside. He's going on a run here. He's going to have a shot, and it's just over the bar. Camavinga there with one of those long spraying passes. That's really what I want out of him. He will be our Paul Pogba. Here's Trippier with the free kick. Same position as the first goal. Me away. Camavinga following up. Ball's come to Willock and it's cleared away. Eric Garcia through to Isaac. And there's Willock off the post. And Fry clears it away off the line. I wonder if there would have been an offside in there. But the play is continuing with Niakate switching to the other flank. Camavinga through to Cunha in on goal. And a little ricochet off the defender into the goalkeeper's arms, and the keeper clears that one away. But a lot of pressure from us there. Shame we weren't able to turn that into a goal. We've now got 5 players on yellow cards already, as Boniface there nearly gets the ball into the back of the net. But 1-0 at the moment. I am slightly worried about that red card. I'd like another goal just in case. Trippier puts the ball in, and it's Niakate there. We do seem to be causing trouble from the set pieces, so we don't want Trippier getting sent off. Here's Camavinga to Cunha. He's got the overlap with Sessegnon. Instead, he switches it to Saint-Maximin, and I thought he was just going to get a toe in ahead of Bryn there, but it was stopped. As we approach half-time, Niakate trying to come forward again. Camavinga tackle, but Soumare's there, doing what he does very well in that defensive midfield role. Sessegnon cutting across the pitch, and there's Isaac into the top corner. The referees pulled it back there for the flag going up. That was a beautiful little bit of interplay up the top of the pitch. Is this going to be a goal is the big question, and it has been disallowed for offside. That has to have been a very marginal call. I'm pretty happy with how this is going, given it's a derby game. The number of yellow cards is a concern, so we are just going to bring Joe Linton on to reduce the number in there that we've got. Joe Linton is a combative player, so I would expect him to get a yellow card as well. Soumare, now Sessegnon. Plays it forward to Cunha, who runs back to Niakate. I've enjoyed how Niakate's been playing the ball at the back, a lot more confident than the players we had there last season. And the ball in has come to Isaac. No risk of an offside there. Sessegnon's ball in, and that's the 100th league goal of Isaac's career. But Niakate to Soumare, that ball over the top. Sessegnon's pace there is always going to do well. It was blocked the first time, but he put it in with his right. Isaac did that little pulling away from goal in order to spin and hit it into the back of the net, and it is 2-0 now. Good to see Isaac continuing where he left off last season by getting another goal. Obviously, he had the one ruled out for a marginal offside as well, so let's see if he can get some more today. Dennis with the corner for Middlesbrough. Coburn arriving, and Josh Coburn there has managed to leather that one into the roof of the net. He had one bite of the cherry, and we didn't clear the ball when he failed to make the most of it. You can see there, he just pulled it down, and that seemed to come off his knee then, rather than off his foot. He's just punted that into the back of the net, and there goes the clean sheet for Nick Pope and the defenders. But at the moment, I'm not too worried. If it's a set-piece corner like that where they have a bit of a lucky break, goals can happen in any match. As long as we keep that lead. As Cunha steals the ball, he's charging forward. He might do it himself. It's come to Isaac. I think that's going to be offside as Isaac ticks that one into the back of the net. There was a little ricochet between the two players, and I think that's going to be called back for offside. No, it's been given. I was sure that was offside. My reading of offside here is not great. Who was playing him on? Oh, I guess they were just in front of the defenders there as the ball ricocheted in. But Isaac there just lifted it past Fry. 3-1. Isaac with 2 goals already in this game. And I think we could start to breathe a little easier as Trippier has the free kick. Good position. And it's stopped. And Isaac there wasn't far away from an effort. And there's a penalty. What is the penalty for? They must have pulled on Isaac or Sam Maximan there, and the penalty is given. So it'll be Isaac for the hat-trick here. Steps up and gets the hat-trick. It's now 3-0. Let's just take Isaac off, and we can give Callum Wilson a little run around out there. Maybe make some changes for yellow-carded players as well if we can. Sessegnon can come off for Botman. But 4-1 now that Isaac has his hat-trick. A pretty good start to the Premier League season, given this is a reasonably tough game, especially away from home. But a clinical penalty, and Isaac already 3 goals in 1 game this season means he's probably going to try and go on a big haul like last season. I can't believe last season, 38 goals in 34 games, and he didn't get the Golden Boot because of Haaland. So a real battle to try and get that Golden Boot this season. But Middlesbrough not done yet. They're trying to find a way to get another goal and maybe a route back into this game. It's Fry back to Bryn, launched forward. Niakate away, and there's Soumare to Camavinga. Ball back to Niakate. Oh, nice little turn there from Camavinga. Now Cunha finds Joe Linton. Back to Camavinga, and he smashed that one, but it was right in the centre of the goal, and Bryn could only punch it over the top. And Trippier now will take the resultant corner. Niakate there does send that high over the bar. Even two goals on top of each other then wouldn't have allowed that to go in. Very, very high. Maybe ring Brereton Diaz, that's a good suggestion. Just give him a little run around there. I would like to bring him into the team a bit more this season, see if he can cope with this Premier League level. But that's a pretty good start to the season. It would have been nice to keep the clean sheet, but their goal wasn't exactly deserved, I don't think. And a 4-1 win with a lot of players coming in. We had a lot of yellow cards, didn't get a red in a tough derby game. I think we can be very satisfied with that. Isaac coming in, getting a hat-trick, a goal from a set piece as well for Garcia. Pretty much on every single front, we did a very, very good job. half a million to Real Sociedad there for Alexander Isak. I don't mind paying that at all. But if we have a look at the Premier League, we are now top of the league, 3 points clear after one game played, although nobody else has played yet. And then looking ahead for the rest of the season, I think we'll do all right. I think the Arsenal game could be tough away from home, but otherwise we'll be looking at a European game somewhere in here, maybe with a United match where we can double up a fixture. So if you're happy to see the start of the second season, do drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, but until next time, see ya.